Once again, welcome student. Today we will talk over the topic strain isolation, improvement and preservation of microorganisms that are cultured in vitro. So, continuation to that, we will talk over this topic strain isolation first. First, we will discuss on the strain isolation. The first question goes to what is the meaning of strain? A strain is a subspecies of the bacterium, or what are the different races of the bacterium or the microorganisms are known as strain. Now, these strain of microorganisms are widespread. They are almost found in the all the biosphere or the parts of the biosphere like water, air, soil. Even they are also present in the Arctic region where the temperature is sub-zero, and they are also present in the hot water springs that we call the hot vents. So these are the mostly probable location or the sources from where we are obtaining microorganisms that are required. Now the question is that is all microorganisms are beneficial to us, or whatever the products that we obtain from microbes are equally beneficial? No. Most of the microbes which are producing the products are not satisfactory. They are injurious to us, they are harmful to us. But we have to select, we have to screen those microbial products which we desire. Undesirable products cannot be taken out. But we will always give preference to obtaining the desired product. So these desired products are present in the microorganism. Now, some of the microorganisms, for example, they are responsible to producing antibiotics. So these antibiotics which is produced by the microorganisms is whether produced from that we have taken during the isolation process, or they are not producing these antibiotics. So that antibiotics are now tested or they are screened. Screening means, what the meaning of screening here? To check out the desired products which we want, whether the microorganisms secrete it or they are able to produce the antibiotics. For example, streptomycin, and another example I am taking the example that is the penicillin. So these are the two novel antibiotics which are the microbial origin, and their strain are cultured, isolated, screened, and then formulated as a commercial products. So in the case of strain isolation, we would follow the technique that we call the enrichment technique. In that enrichment technique, what happened? As the meaning enrichment, that is increasing the biomass concentration of the particular microorganisms from which we are getting desired products. So this technique, that is the enrichment technique, here the soil is taken out, soil, water, that is the main hub of the microbes or the microbial culture. So what we are taking, we will take the soil, and that soil is put on the nutrient artificial nutrient medium, and it is arranged in the Sacher flask. Why the Sacher flasks are there? You know, the Sacher flasks are basically used to increase the air concentration, or they are properly mix the air that require for the aerobic bacteria. So Sacher flasks are taken, and this nutrient medium is already present there, so soil is put over there. After that, you will find lastly the increased biomass concentration of this microorganism. Now that microorganism containing the soil is subcultured. After the subculturing, it is undergone to the screening. I just told about the screening is what? Screening is the process of checking out whether the desired products are forming inside the culture or it is not producing. So this is the screening method. Now there is another method to check out the desired products, that is the immunological method. What is the immunological method? You just know this bacteria is already an antigen. So there is always combination of antigen antibody complex. So we are using some specific antibodies against a particular microorganism by using probe, and that probe is helpful to diagnose the presence of particular kind of antibodies or the presence of specific antigens in the microorganisms. So this is the method of strain isolation. Now come to the strain improvement. Strain improvement, what is the objective of strain improvement? The main objective of this improvement is that to increase desired products quality in short time period. So this is the objective of strain improvement, and you know that strain improvement of any particular microorganisms is achieved by the two methods. Number one is classical genetics, and among the classical genetics, what we are applying here? Mutation. So this mutation selection is a very important role to improve the particular strain of the microorganism. For example, the first well-known antibiotics that is produced from the fungus, that is known as Penicillium notatum, and nowadays we are just changing the strain of Penicillium and it is called as Penicillium chrysogenum. So Penicillium chrysogenum is able to produce 100 times more efficient antibiotics than usual penicillium, that is Penicillium notatum. So this happened due to the mutation selection or mutation technique. Now the question is that how we are able to change the strain of a particular microorganism. Here what we are changing? We are changing here the DNA contents or their genetic makeup. So the genetic makeup is basically changed by using the ultraviolet radiation. This is the UV rays. UV rays is one of the physical mutagens. And apart from that, we are also using NTG, that is the nitroguanidine. So NTG and ultraviolet radiation or UV rays is the two factor. This is the physical mutagen and NTG is the chemical mutagen. So by applying the physical and chemical mutagen, we can upgrade, we can change the strain of a particular microorganism, and therefore we can increase the concentration of the antibiotics of our desired interest. Second approach is the recent technique, that is genetic engineering technique. And as we know that the genetic engineering or recombinant DNA technology is the manipulation of genetic makeup of microorganism by introducing foreign gene or the alien DNA. These foreign gene is here known as heterologous gene, and there is some problems regarding insertion of this foreign gene or the heterologous gene into the host or the microorganisms from where we are going to obtain this desired microbial products or metabolites. So what the problem basically we are facing there? There is a problem due to the heterologous gene, and that gene is that upon insertion, for example, this is a host of microbes using plasmid. This is the gene. Now upon insertion, what we get? As per the rule, when it is inserted in the host cell, and replication make the RNA, RNA making the protein. But sometimes it happens upon insertion of this alien DNA or the foreign DNA or heterologous gene into the host cell, it is not able to produce the desired products, and on this, due to that, the desired products or the proteins are not produced. So when this gene is under control of self-made operon. What is the operon? Operon model or the operon concept is that it is the regulating functioning of gene each states, and that operon is made up of a operator gene, promoter gene, regulatory gene or structural gene. So this is a combination of these genes, and that all genes are integrated to each other. So here, to remove the problem of heterologous gene, what we are using here, we are using a foreign DNA that have affinity to strong promoter. Promoter, just I just told the promoter gene. Promoter gene are those genes which promote the structural gene, so that the process of replication or the protein synthesis or transcription or translation, whatever, continue. So foreign gene is affiliated or linked with the strong promoter like RNA polymerase. So when the RNA polymerase is activated, you can also, this is the DNA. Now this is first regulatory gene, operator gene, structural gene, promoter gene. So here is the operator gene, the strong promoter. If the foreign gene is having a strong promoter, if it is linked with the strong promoter, then what happens ultimately? RNA polymerase will link here, and the structural gene is able to make the copy of mRNA. In this way, the protein of desired interest are produced, and as upon insertion of strong promoter to RNA polymerase, the increased high copy number is expressed. It means the rate of turnover is many-fold increase. That is called the high copy number. High copy number is stable and is a multiple copies or multiple form of this structural gene or the proteins. Now expression vector. Continue to that. While we are improving the strain of a particular microorganism, we are also using the expression vector as the name suggesting, expression vector. So these are the vector which promote the production of the foreign proteins. So now come to the case of eukaryotic versus prokaryotic. When a eukaryotic gene is inserted into the prokaryotic gene, there is some different problems are also created, and that is tackled by the one of the important microorganism fungus, that is the yeast. Yeast, apart from the yeast, we are also using the Peaceum pastoris. Actually, in the prokaryotic case, in the case of prokaryotic case and eukaryotic case, here monocystronic and here is the polycystronic. And second difference is that in the case of eukaryotic, there are exons and introns. So due to this two variations, the operon system or the functioning of regulatory gene or promoter gene or structural gene is little different from the prokaryotic. So that is creating a problem of folding the proteins. When these introns are, when these introns are not removed from the mRNA strand, so it causes folding of the proteins. And to folding of proteins, there is development of inclusion bodies. What is the inclusion body? Whenever exon and introns both are simultaneously there, so it causes the folding of proteins, and due to folding of proteins, what happened? There are aggregates of protein molecules are synthesized in the host cell, or that is the microorganism, and that is intracellularly for this is the intracellularly produced inclusion body in the host cell. So all these problems are creating during downstream processing. So downstream processing is little costly and it will take time to remove this inclusions body. So to remove this problem nowadays is like microorganism, that is Pichia pastoris is nowadays it is used to tackle the problems related with the when we are introducing eukaryotic gene into the prokaryotic host. So what is the role of this Pichia pastoris? Now this Pichia pastoris is one of the strong inducible promoter. Strong inducible promoter. Second number, it is modifying post translation. So there is a true role of this Pichia pastoris during the strain improvement when we are using eukaryotic gene into the prokaryotic one. So number one is strong inducible promoter. These inducible means that induce the switch on of the operon. So there is a two system, switch on and switch off. When the operon is switch on, then that protein is synthesized, and when the operon is switch off, then the protein will be not synthesized. Another one is that this Pichia pastoris is also able to modify the post-translational process. There is pre-translation process and post-translational process. It means after the formation of the proteins or whatever the chain of amino acids are there, it undergoes several processes. For example, like RNA splicing, that is the removal of this introns from the mRNA, heterogeneous mRNA. So another one is that this Pichia pastoris does not secrete any proteins which create botheration in the making of the desired product. So there is three advantages of Pichia pastoris. Number one is strong inducible promoters. Number two is that it is able to modify you can also say post-translational modification, and lastly, it does not secrete any own proteins, so that problem can be tackled. So this is the strain isolation, improvement and the preservation. So now then the next topic we will discuss over the preservation of the strain isolation. Thanks for watching.